The mix is one of 24-year-old Alex Countryman's hangouts, and as her friends say, it's one of the last places she was seen. There was no Christmas for the Carrera family. Instead of going on their holiday vacation, they spent it waiting to hear from 24-year-old Alex Countryman.
She didn't call.
Her stepfather says Alex was excited about the trip to New Mexico. It's been more than 2 weeks, but her disappearance really hit home for the family when they didn't hear from her on Christmas Day.
We have been full of hope, although we did not hear from her yesterday, and of all days she would have called, of course.
Friends of Alex say she left here around 2:30 that Saturday morning. Then she ended up here at the Bear Creek Apartments. It was the last time anyone saw her. It took San Antonio police over 2 weeks to declare Alex missing, prompting friends to hire private detectives. They found Alex may not be the only person missing and that foul play could be involved. For her family, it was her kind heart that may have put her in a bad situation.
So she was easy prey for somebody that wanted to do harm.
This is the flyer that friends and family have been distributing, and as you can see, it has Alex's picture and description. Now, not only was Alex a local singer, she was a veteran and a mother of a 5-year-old. If you have any information, you're being asked to call the San Antonio Police Department. Reporting north of downtown, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI.
News 4 WOAI's Janice Carpio is live tonight on the northeast side with the latest.
All we know right now is that the fire started at this upstairs bedroom, and that's when a group of heroes stormed in to help.
There was so much smoke, too much smoke. They were coming out of there, they were black.
It's an unforgettable image for neighbors. A 2-year-old boy, his 1-year-old sister, and their mother barely escape a house fire.
Even the baby, when I saw the older one, he was covered in soot and it's terrible. I don't wish this on anybody.
Neighbors were not the only ones aware of this fire. 3 of the mechanics here from Star Collision jumped over this 8-foot fence to help as soon as they heard a baby cry.
We beat the door until she answered it, and then we went in. We found one child, and there was another one missing.
Fire officials say that's because both children awoke from the downstairs room where they slept with their mother. They ended up upstairs, and that's when the fire started. Only the oldest child made it back down.
So much smoke and the blackness in it, you really couldn't see nothing.
The men managed to get the mother and son out, but the baby girl was finally rescued by firefighters.
When the firemen put out the last one, I don't think it was breathing at first.
Both toddlers were airlifted to Brooke Army Medical Center with burns and smoke inhalation. The mother was also transported, but by ambulance. She also suffered from smoke inhalation. Now, we do know that the home did have a smoke detector. Whether it alerted the family is unknown. Reporting live from the northeast side, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI. We have new information on this fire. Investigators are calling it suspicious. Unfortunately, 2 children suffered serious burns from it, and if it wasn't for a group of heroes, it could have been worse.
Those kids had black soot on their face, the mother as well. When the firemen put out the last one, I don't think it was breathing at first.
This is one of the 3 mechanics that jumped this 8-foot fence into this burning apartment. Inside, a mother and her 2 toddlers.
We beat the door until she answered it, and then we went in. We found one child, and there was another one missing.
The children, a 2-year-old boy and his 1-year-old sister, awoke from a nap with their mother and ended up upstairs when the fire sparked. Only the oldest made it back down.
By this time, the fire department came, and finally they found the child.
Tonight, the condition of the children is still unknown. As for the estimated cost of damage, it's $30,000. Reporting live from the northeast side, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI. 1310 a.m. has been without power and off air all day, but just a couple of minutes ago, they managed to get back on air, but using low power. And as you can hear, it still has a lot of static. They say that static sound could cost them thousands of dollars.
Evidently, copper makes the world go round.
The copper is something that you have to make a radio station work.
This may not look like much, but its value is worth hundreds.
Yeah, this is a big-time loss for us.
The copper needed to keep this radio station transmitter going is now gone, ripped from inside. Sheriff deputies say thieves took $200 worth of the metal. But it's not the actual copper that could cost the station thousands of dollars. It's them being off air.
The phone's been ringing all day.
For Call 1310 AM, it's the possible loss of listeners and sponsors. They say every second of dead air could cost thousands. They're working quickly to make repairs.
The engineers are telling us that they're trying to get us up on at least temporary basis.
Radio officials hope to get the power on the station running normal by tonight. Live from the northwest side, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI. It's going to take a long time for these families to recover. They have lost everything from toys to clothes and even furniture. Now, right now, investigators are on the scene, as you can see right back there. They're trying to figure out what the cause of this fire was.
Devastating. She's very devastating. She was at work when this happened, and can you imagine being at work and get the phone call and say that your house is on fire and you got to come all the way home, and when you get home you find nothing.
Melvin McMurray says his sister-in-law and her 6 children have lost everything to the fire that started in their kitchen. All their personal belongings are now just ash.
She had lost everything, for Christmas. They just got new furniture and everything's gone.
But she's not the only one. 2 other families also lost their homes. Firefighters say the closeness of the homes and winds helped quickly spread the fire.
We do have approximately 15 family members from the 3 units that received fire damage that were displaced due to this fire. Tonight, the families are seeking help, especially for the children.
My sister-in-law just lost everything that she has in her house. And really, they have no clothes. The kids have no clothes. She has 6 kids, and they have no clothes.
Now, again, 3 homes were completely destroyed, and this one is one of them. It might not look that bad from the front, but on the side, it has extensive fire and water damage. The family says they have been told they cannot return. Now, a 4th home was also damaged, and it's that one right over there. Also, doesn't look too bad. Inside, it has some slight damage, but that family was told they may return once they fix the inside. Reporting live in the Northeast, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI. Cheryl Ewish went missing on Wednesday, and her husband fears memory loss or a seizure may have contributed to her disappearance.
She's not really allowed to drive, but she wanted to go to the river, so.
That's the last time Charles Ewish saw his wife, Cheryl. She told him she went to the river to think, but she never returned.
And the car still wasn't here. That worried me because, it was getting dusk. So I drove through the park, and that's when I found the car.
Police say the woman's car was found here at this part of the park. Her doors were locked, and the only thing missing were her keys and phone.
Well, maybe she had another seizure, and she was more disoriented, or, just so much going on in her mind.
Again, this is Cheryl. If you have seen her, you're being asked to call the New Braunfels Police Department or the Heidi Search Center. Live at New Braunfels, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI. The fire started in the backyard of this house and quickly spread, but thanks to some neighborhood heroes, no one was hurt. By the time Rudy Orozco was awakened by this fire,
all I see is a big old gust of flames.
It had taken over his neighbor's house, but it isn't a stranger who lives there. It's his 85-year-old Aunt Susie.
And if it wasn't for my friend Berto, then I don't know, she probably would have burned.
Barefoot and wearing only their shorts, Rudy and his friend went to the rescue. The men say the house was pitch black, full of smoke, and they could barely see in front of them. But despite that, they walked this long hallway to save the woman who was still in her bedroom.
I grabbed her from her arms and I picked her up, and she was kind of heavy, so I had to drag her through the hall and got her out.
Rudy and Humberto say they think Aunt Susie would have been trapped if they had waited any longer, and they didn't want to risk that.
Really, I wasn't thinking about myself, ma'am. I just thought about my good neighbor, Susie.
The inside of the home is destroyed, but I'm told what's really important was saved.
I'm just glad she's alive and everything's okay.
The family says the woman has lived in the house ever since she was a little girl, but unfortunately she had no insurance. They're going to try to seek help and rebuild. Live on the west side, Janice Carpio, News 4 WOAI.
Quarters tonight, and Janice, I understand one of the children was a 4-month-old?
That's right, Delane. One was 4 months old. Neighbors say that they never saw the woman abusive with the kids, but leaving them alone is just as bad.
It's too dangerous to leave them alone like that.
Neighbors of 27-year-old Virginia Garcia can't believe she's in jail tonight, especially for the reason she was arrested.
But I've never known for her to leave them alone. I never knew that they were left alone.
Police were responding to another call around 9 Saturday morning when they found her 2 boys outside alone. Police say when they arrived, not only were the kids alone, but they were filthy. The 4-month-old had a dirty diaper, and inside the apartment, it was full of beer cans. Police say it was just a mess. Neighbors say she took off to get Taco Bell, leaving her 7-year-old son to care for his 4-month-old brother.
Too many babies have gotten hurt or killed behind something like this.
Mary Ramos says Virginia did seem to take care of the boys, but often yelled and cursed at them.
I live right across, so I've seen her in the kitchen cooking for them. But is that enough?
Garcia is in jail tonight facing 2 charges of child abandonment. CPS says that the children are not under their custody and they are probably with family. Live at police headquarters, Janice, Carpio, News 4, WOAI. Investigators say this is the 2nd time in 2 weeks someone has tried to burn down this house. This time, whoever did it was successful. It was one family's American dream. But this is what's left of the house after it was burned to the ground last night.
You don't know if it's going to happen to your house. You know, like right now we're building and we're scared because it could happen to us.
Neighbors say that's because it's not the first time this house has been set on fire. Someone tried to burn it last Thursday, but failed.
Hopefully that this doesn't happen anymore.
It's a problem that's been haunting the South Side for months. Neighbors hope developers find a solution. The builders say getting security is just one of the options. But neighbors like the Castillos say security is a necessity.
I would like to have more security or have the police patrol this area more.
But investigators say this fire was probably started by a group of kids and not an arsonist. Developers say they do plan to rebuild the house. When it was burned down, it was about 60% ready. Live on the southwest side, Janice, Carpio, News 4, WOAI. That's right, there were 2 teenagers that were killed, and it has been confirmed that one of them is San Antonio and 18-year-old Parisa Biglari. Police say she, along with a 19-year-old male, were driving on Highway 361 here on Port Aransas a little after 10 last night when they lost control of their vehicle and slammed into a pickup. Biglari and the male teen driver both died instantly.
There were 4 in the pickup truck, minor injuries. They went off to the hospital and they're doing quite well. That's thankful to airbags and seat belts. And in the Jeep Liberty, there were 2 individuals, and unfortunately, they both burned to death.
Biglari graduated from Reagan High School last year. As for that teen male driver, his identity has not yet been released. Reporting from Port Aransas, Janice, Carpio, News 4, WOAI. There's easily hundreds of stuffed animals laying around the house where the babies' bodies were discovered. Now there's a plan to use these precious gifts to help others. Tony Serenil, the man who discovered the bodies, says he's been in contact with the children's shelter because he would like to donate many of these toys to them. He says every day there's a different gift dropped off in front of this house, and now with the rain, some are getting damaged. He hopes before it gets worse, these toys could go to help other children and bring a community together.
Well, everybody needs to get together and look out for each other, for each other's children.
Tony hopes to take many of the toys and the money donated to the shelter tomorrow in memory of the babies. He says if you'd like to help, just come by. Live in the South Side, Janice, Carpio, News 4, WOAI. This police report confirms what neighbors say happened. The woman was beaten, her boyfriend stabbed right on the streets of their neighborhood. When Guadalupe Espinosa last saw her neighbor,
I saw her walk into the car and she said hi to me.
26-year-old Adriana Hernandez appeared to have no worries. But little did anyone know what would happen hours later.
I never know that she had enemies. As far as I know her when she was little.
Police say Adriana's ex-boyfriend Juan Carlos Vela showed up to her home. He threatened to burn down her house. Police say the ex-boyfriend broke not one, but all the windows of this house. Then came to the front door, broke this window, and poured gasoline all inside.
That he wanted to kill them and burn them.
That's when Adriana came out of the house to confront him. Police say Juan began beating her.
I thought they had really killed her.
But things got worse when Adriana's new boyfriend confronted Juan. Police say Juan stabbed him, then took off.
I saw an ambulance and a person in the ambulance. I don't know.
And the person inside that ambulance is Carlos Aguilar, who is at BAMC recovering from those stab wounds. As for the suspect, Juan, he faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and arson. Live at police headquarters, Janice, Carpio, News 4, WOAI. That's because parents say that the city's solution to keep kids safe here is actually worse than the problem.
Bad for the safety for the children.
Parents demanded something be done to fix all this traffic on Blanco. The city's solution, ripping out this traffic light in front of the school and constructing a roundabout to slow the traffic.
Yes, it is a good idea because it's a danger for the children to be with all this traffic.
But some parents and the school board say the roundabout will only make things worse. Here's why. 416 kids attend school here at Agnes Cotton. More than half of them live on this side of Blanco. Many of them have to cross Blanco now without a traffic light to help.
It's not going to be any good for all the kids in this area.
Cars are going to be looking out for the cars. They're not going to be watching out for small children.
Near one school here, but tonight nobody can seem to agree about what to do about it. Problem is dangerous traffic in front of Agnes Cotton Elementary School on busy Blanco Road. News 4's Janice Carpio is live to explain why a construction project has parents so upset. Janice?
That's because parents say that the city's solution to keep kids safe here is actually worse than the problem.
Bad for the safety for the children.
Parents demanded something be done to fix all this traffic on Blanco. The city's solution, ripping out this traffic light in front of the school and constructing a roundabout to slow the traffic.
Yes, it is a good idea because it's a danger for the children to be with all this traffic.
But some parents and the school board say the roundabout will only make things worse. Here's why. 416 kids attend school here at Agnes Cotton. More than half of them live on this side of Blanco. Many of them have to cross Blanco now without a traffic light to help.
It's not going to be any good for all the kids in this area.
Cars are going to be looking out for the cars. They're not going to be watching out for small children.
Now parents want to get rid of the roundabout and keep the traffic light before construction goes any further.
Would you want your child crossing the street in a situation like that?
Parents are holding a town hall meeting as we speak to discuss the roundabout and what needs to be done to stop it. We'll let you know what comes out of that meeting. Live north of downtown, Janice Carpio, News 4, WOAI.